Alright, so here's the what the amp rack's looking like. I spent most of the day today working on this. Got the 3 holes here. And these little dividers I set in here. Because what I'm going to do is there's going to be fans in there angled at 45 degrees. And they're going to pull air up and out the top. And there's the 2 spots for the batteries. Right here will be the mono block, and in front of it, angled, will be the 4-channel. So you'll see that come along here in a little bit. I painted up kind of all the holes, and tomorrow I'm going to come and carpet it so it matches that and the box. So it's going to get carpeted again, and it'll look good. And today I added this top piece back on nice and solid so that we can do our little fan setup. The seat's going to come and sit right about here and angled. So there's quite a bit of room inside this little area. And then over here is where the box sits, and it'll come flush to the top of this when I lay it back in. So I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, well, we're at another lovely day. Actually, it's really cold out here, but it looks kind of nice. Car looks like something just blew up inside of it, and there's just mess everywhere. So today I'll finish wiring, hopefully, and clean some of this stuff up. But I think the first thing I want to do, I'm going to try to carpet my amp rack, but I got to see if this glue will open. So actually I don't think I can do this with holding the camera, but we'll do that. Get that open, and then I have to do some jigsawing actually to make this amp rack perfect the way I want it to be before I carpet it. So we'll get around to that, and we'll check in. Alright, so I got the amp rack back out here. Now you can see it in the daytime. That's kind of what I did for the ventilation for the fans. I'll have to place those in there when I get a chance in a little bit. Till then, I'm going to make some cuts in here that match this one. So what happens is I actually have a spot in the car where I can run wires under the seat and they can come up here. And I want to run 2 0 gauge, so if I lighten that up they'll work. I think I'm going to do one on this side so that I can run RCAs and such. And as you can see in the car, conveniently for my purpose here, you can see there's this little notch out where wires can come under the seat nicely. Where over here they would get caught under the seat, so they can come up through here, through that notch I'm going to make, and wire up really nicely. So I'm going to get over here and pull down my little pull down. By the way, if you don't have one of these, they're pretty sweet. It's like 35 bucks. Now I got power out here. And we'll plug in the jigsaw. Here and copy this cut, make it a little bigger. Alright, so I'm really proud of my little jigsaw cuts here. That's just free-handed, going upside down, and they look pretty straight. So now that that's done, I'm going to sand the edges off a little bit, and then we should just be ready to put some new carpet on here. I have a few extra little burrs. I think the carpet will cover most of this ugliness up pretty well, but you can see it there. Well, this is going to be a little bit tough because as you can see, there's a lot of little contours I got to fit in, and folding carpet into those kind of things is a little hard. But this carpet is pretty forgiving, and if you have to cut it up, it butts up pretty nice too and blends in. So I think it'll work out. So let's see a time lapse of me working on this thing. Alright, so I'm about halfway done. As you can see, it's not quite perfect. Got a little glue up there, but I can go back and clean it up once this stuff starts to dry a little bit. And then I gotta cut out some stuff and patch in the missing parts. Underneath there, I'm gonna leave it open. I'm gonna come around on top and do the top once the rest of this dries. Can't do too much at once because it runs away from you. So I'm gonna let it sit up for a little bit, and we'll check back when it's dried up a little bit. Alright, so we're still working on the amp rack. I just started out on it again because I've been wiring all day. Ran all the speaker wire, all the other wires. There's like one more wire I have to run, but I kind of got bored, so it's like 6 hours of that. So I'm gonna finish carpeting this, I think, tonight. I just need to do this little top part and then trim up the sides here. But there's where the batteries slide in. And then I guess I'll put some of the hardware back into the board here so we can bolt everything up pretty soon here and get all the amps worked out. And I think I may even be able to put this in tonight, or not permanently, but just to test fit the placement of the new amp racks. Doing all the wiring here. As you can see, we got a lot of runs of Sky High running back. All of them have a purpose. And then we also have our RCAs coming from head unit. Those are going to be the output to the Clarion EQ, which is the only run of RCAs I have to take from the deck. The rest of this is for the deck, and then this is my little panel for relays and stuff. The only thing I have to wire is get these gauges back wired up with illumination, and that's about it. Everything else here is done. All this wire is ran for various things. This little pigtail here is for some LED lights that go under the seat. The only thing I have to do is do it on this side also, so I have to run a wire from that around over to here. But everything else is wired up. Alright, so test fit the amp rack. It looks great. As you can see, everything fits real nice. And when I fold the wires up, they'll go in that little slot there on the other side too. There's our slot for the batteries. We got plenty of room for both amps. And I'm going to have room for 3 fans up there, so we can see what the holes do now. So I'm going to touch up the paint on those spots, and I think it's done. Gonna mask this area off, and got these little gusset things all painted up. And tomorrow, when it's all dried, show you guys the fan orientation in there, how they kick air out the top. Essentially, this whole amp rack's just a big chamber behind the seat with 2 amps, 2 batteries, and some wiring. And all the air will get drawn in from the sides here, so it'll come in both sides, past the amp, and get sucked out this way. So once we get farther along with the build, I'll show you exactly how that works and how everything's going to be set up. But this is pretty much my original amp rack that has been modified like 4 times now. So I think this is the final time I plan on doing anything with this in this in this build, because next time I ever do anything, it'll probably be at a bigger scale. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever have this car stripped this much until the point I do potentially a wall. I don't know. I never thought about doing a wall in this car. I don't know if I want to do a wall in this car, because I kind of like having below window subs below the window line, and I like having back seat, at least for this vehicle. So at some point I may go 215s. It's as big as I can get in here with it staying under the window line, and being able to keep my seats. And even then, that's going to be a squeeze. So if I ever walled, I think it may be in a different vehicle.
What does this all mean to you? I've never seen such infinite beauty in my life. It's like a curtain or a spider web. Can you see it? It's right here in front of me, right now. Watch.
Alright, so we're back at it. This is my little mock-up of how my amps are going to be orientated on the amp rack here. That sits flat on the ground and the amp mounts here, so it'll be tipping back. I'm going to make a little bracket here to bolt on.